Hello. Why is this guy not muting him? I'm muting him.
Yo, what's up, Hasan? Yo, sorry, I just gotta mute your stream real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up, man?
What is this? I'm looking at your profile photo. Is that you with a UFC belt, or is that someone else?
No, man, that's me. I went to a UFC event, so
oh
I
my
was.
God, of course you're a UFC guy. Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, man, you could start off with the insults, but I wanted to start off.
No,
by
no, no.
saying,
I'm not trying to insult you. It's just
What do you mean
fit
by
the
my
pro.
UFC guy? There's a lot of people who are UFC guys. That's
come on, dude. Dana White loves Donald Trump.
Okay,
It's like a very.
Okay, so because I'm wearing a camo sweatshirt and holding a UFC belt, you must think I'm some hillbilly redneck. Like, I get it.
No, not at all. I don't think UFC guys are hillbilly rednecks. There's a lot of suburban there's a lot of suburban reactionaries that love the UFC as well.
Yeah, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, so basically the way I wanted to start this out was so I think you guys misinterpreted, my original message by saying you know nothing.
Yeah.
So I really just want to say, like, I'm big fans of both of you guys, honestly.
Oh, yeah? Are you son of a bitch, huh?
Right, yeah, no, Roz, I watch your show, like, almost every day, man. Like, I love it. Like,
really?
Okay. Yeah. I actually have a question I want to ask you, but I'll save that for the end.
Sure. But can I sign something for you? No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Go ahead.
Hasan also, I mean, I disagree with you on a lot of things, but I'm also a pretty big fan of yours, just, from watching you. And I see that you're at least reasonable in a lot of aspects that I didn't originally think you would be, So let me just go by saying, really big fan of both of you guys. I'm not a troll. Wasn't trying to, I was just engaging in chat, and by saying, nothing, what I meant was basically I was just asking was I didn't really want to debate. I just wanted to ask you some questions, if that's okay. And then maybe discuss from there.
Sure. Yes.
So my original was Hasan, earlier you were comparing, this was a couple of hours ago.
Hold on. But T Diaz, I don't mean to call you out. Why is my weed pen crooked? There we go. What I was saying is, T Diaz, I don't want to call you out, but coming in here presenting these as questions, you're kind of removing yourself from responsibility. So you're actually framing your arguments as questions. In an effort to kind of dodge the responsibility of having to retaliate. You know what I mean?
I'll retaliate if it's necessary. I guess I'm trying to get a better understanding, if that makes sense. So I guess
I know, but you'll kind of be it'd be like if I were to try to debate, you'd be I did it to Hasan earlier about something that I actually believed, and I just asked him questions because it kind of left me to be no, I was just asking. I don't actually believe that.
Wait, what is your username on Twitch? Is it T Diaz?
No, my username on Twitch is my real name. It's the Tyler Diaz. That's my name. That's my Twitch.
Tyler Diaz. I'm just trying to see what your log said.
I want to hear your question though, but it's totally cool.
Yeah, you can check my log. I've been
I want to say I appreciate you watching my show every day.
Dude, literally every day. Anyways, let me just get to the point.
Thank you.
My thing. So Hasan, earlier, a few hours ago. Honestly, hours ago, because I've been watching you for that long. I just have my computer up and whatnot. You were talking about how what Iran and other countries have done to us, and how what we do is the equivalent. How do you? So when there's 6 or 7 instances where we do nothing, why is it that when we do this one thing, it's issue? And then you talk about how killing a high up individual or a leader of any regime is wrong, when it's we're only supposed to kill the 18, 19-year-old kids who are forced to do it, not the people who are forcing them. That's that's the problem I have, and I'll stand by that. No, I don't think that we were wrong to kill that guy. I can't pronounce his name. Everybody knows who he is.
Whatever his goddamn name is.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. I gotta answer.
Hasan, what do you got to say about that, Hasan?
What do you think the United States?
You can't run from that, can you?
Hold on. Seriously. What do you think the United States is doing in Iraq right now? Who has more of a reason to be in Iraq? Iran or the United States of America?
Iran.
Okay.
My question.
Wait, hold on. That's a good answer. You gave an honest answer. You didn't give like a wishy-washy, dumb lib answer.
No, I don't think the U.S. should be involved in this shit. I guess my
okay.
whole
So Iran has like understandably is a regional partner. Understandably, there's a big Shia population in Iraq. Like totally reasonable for the Iranian second in command, the person who's responsible for all of its foreign policy, for that guy to be in Iraq is totally reasonable then, right?
Yes.
So America executing a world leader that we are not involved in any sort of like conflict with. We are engaged in proxy wars with, but like not involved in any sort of direct conflict with. You don't think that is completely, absolutely illegal, war crime, a declaration of war, and an act of war, really? Like
how can you honestly say that we're not involved in any conflict when they have numerous attacks against the United States? There's multiple instances.
We're involved in a proxy war in the region, which you admitted that Iran has a more of a reason to be involved in than the United States.
Yes, we shouldn't be there.
Okay, we shouldn't be there. So Iran is trying to maintain their regional hegemony, their regional authority, considering that these are bordering states, some of which have like Shia individuals, which Iran is interested in, right? And also then Iran is also engaged with in a different conflict with Israel and Saudi Arabia in the region. I guess that's still related to the United States. So they're doing their own thing. We, as the United States, are the ones who are involved there, and troops are dying as a consequence of the involvement of American generals or the American executives.
Yes, and my whole thing is like, it's not whether or not we should or should not be there. It's the fact that we are, and if we're getting attacked, why do we not have the right to respond? And why?
How do we get attacked? Really? Can you explain that?
I honestly just couple weeks ago they shot down a drone. They've attacked.
Whose drone? Which country's drone was it?
I believe it was ours in 2016.
Where did they shoot the drone?
I do not know where they shot the drone.
On the Strait of Hormuz, which is like at least at the most like it's contested Iranian and Saudi Arabian waters. So who has more of a say there? Like shooting down an American drone that is nearing Iranian airspace. You think that's not someone protecting their own house? Isn't that the most American concept ever? Shooting down a drone that's like circling around your country's borders, your country's airspace. And it's a drone, by the way. That's not an act of war. If you understand that it's just a drone being shot, that is an act of. If you think a drone being shot is an act of war, then my God, you should be devastated when a general, or not even a general, the second in command of the entire nation is executed. Right?
Why would I? Okay, so that's the thing, and that's like you keep on making it out to be an argument of whether or not we should or should not be there, and who has the more right. Like, no, that's not the argument I'm making. The argument I'm making is,
but that's at the heart of this argument is that the United States should not be there.
Because like the whole point is the fact that like whether we should or should not be there, the fact is that we are, and we don't have me personally as in the U.S. we don't as a citizen don't have a choice as to where we are. But when someone attacks us, whether we should not be there, why do we not have the right to retaliate? And why should we not take out one of the people who is orchestrating a lot of these attacks and has been responsible for hundreds, if not thousands, of U.S. soldier lives?
Okay, let me ask you this.
Real quick, last end of my statement is you say that you should never kill the second commander, a high person in command. So what should we just kill the 18, 19-year-olds that they're sending out just like we are? Why are they okay to kill but the leaders aren't? Why not put an end to it? Or
because it's not going to put an end to it. It's going to escalate the conflict in a much more significant way, as we're seeing right now. So here's the question I have for you, right? Let's say you and your neighbor are just in your houses, okay? And I come in and I got RPGs, I got firepower, I got everything. You got a little ass dinky rinky dink gun, okay? I come into your neighbor's house and I kill your neighbor, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I got to protect my neighbor. I mean, I kind of like my neighbor. I kind of like my neighbor's wife. Like, and now I'm afraid that he's going to come after me next. So while I'm in the process of killing your neighbor, you come into the house and you're like, hold on, what are you doing? Let's de-escalate the situation. And then I pull a gun on you and I say, I'm going to kill you too. And then you shoot me. Is that reasonable?
I mean, honestly, you kind of lost me with how long it was, but I mean,
what do you mean? I come into your neighbor's house and I kill your neighbor. You're afraid you're going to get shot. You shoot me. You shoot me in self-defense. Is that reasonable?
Well, I mean, that was kind of my follow-up. Is that like you're trying to make the situations equivalent, or like say that? Like,
I'm asking you, is that reasonable or not? It's a really simple question. Do you think shooting me in self-defense is that reasonable?
Is your neighbor like doing things that they shouldn't be doing? Like there's
like
so
what?
many.
Let's say I said I'm not even remotely involved in your neighborhood at all, but I came in and I lied and I said, hey, listen, I'm coming into your neighbor's house because I heard your neighbor has like illegal drugs in your house. Your neighbor doesn't even have illegal drugs. You know that your neighbor doesn't have illegal drugs, but I said your neighbor has illegal drugs, so I bust down your neighbor's door and I kill him.
Comparable. Like this is the main, and like the thing is like you're trying to make this into a bait and like an argument, whereas
it's not even a big argument or a bait. It's a really simple question. I kill your neighbor and I turn my gun onto you and I say I'm gonna kill you. Is it okay if you shoot me in self-defense?
But that is not the situation that's going on, and the fact that you keep painting it that way is the issue that I have. Is that you're painting it out like it's some black and white thing, and like Iran is on the same moral level as the U.S. And like, wait,
hold on. No, I didn't say that. I would even go so far as to say that what the United States has done pound for pound is worse than Iran. No. I'm not disrespecting Iran or Iraq this way. Okay, I'm sorry. If we're gonna keep it real, I think that they have more of an. I think that they're on higher moral ground to fight back in self-defense. The point I'm making right now that you're failing to understand is Iran fighting back in defense is more of a morally understandable position than the United States going there to begin with.
So Iran should just be allowed to commit genocide against their people, because you claim that the U.S. is committing genocide against the Iranian people, which I never said that.
I never said the United States is committing genocide against the Iranian people. The United States has destabilized Iran. No, I said Iraqi people. I think you're mistaking the IRA countries. I said the United States has been responsible for millions of deaths in Iraq, not Iran. The United States is responsible for the terrible, oppressive, religious theocracy, the authoritarian theocracy in Iran, because of the numerous coups that it's been involved in, specifically in 1959 and 1973. 1953 and 1979. I'm really bad with numbers. But beyond that, I never said that like the United States is like committing genocide in Iran. The United States did shoot down. No. Sorry. The United States did shoot down an Iranian air carrier, a air carrier that had like an aircraft that had 300 plus Iranian citizens in it, civilians, and never apologized for it. But that's a totally different thing.
I mean, yeah, killing civilians is always wrong. My thing is like.
So why didn't we would have apologized for it?
Like whether so whether it was Iraq, Iran, like. Said that the U.S. was essentially starting or going to start or has already committed a genocide. So why are you okay with, like you say, we should just step away from Iran and let them genocide their own people? Like, why is that?
How is that happening? Like, who's genociding their own people?
Is that like they do more harm, if not equal to like what we've done? So why is why? How can you wrap your head around them and say that's okay for them?
Wait, is Iran genociding their own people? This is like, I mean, Iran has killed a bunch of protesters, which I don't agree with.
You even said earlier, right, that the Iranian citizens are the ones protesting against the Iranian government, right? Like you said.
Yeah. The Iranian citizens were protesting against the Iranian government, and then they killed them. So do we? Is that what we do? We just.
But it's not okay for us to like try to kill the leaders who are killing the citizens. I can't wrap my head around that.
Wait, are you unironically making the argument that like it's our job to kill the Iranian citizens?
I'm not saying it's our job. I'm saying, why do you think it's right? Why are you justifying it? Why are you sympathizing with the Iranian regime? Like, that's what I don't get. is because like I get that like yeah, it's not okay to kill the civilians.
Do you think the USSR involvement in World War II was good in defeating the Nazis? Just quick side question, but it's important to the conversation.
I mean, no, honestly, I personally believe that every country should just kind of deal with their own shit and not get involved. But unfortunately, that's not the world we live in.
Wait. Do you think it was good that the USSR defeated the Nazis in World War II?
I mean, the grand scheme of things, yes. In the moment,
why are you sympathizing with the USSR?
That is.
Why are you a tanky? Why are you a tanky socialist sympathizing with the USSR? So you can understand that I'm not sympathizing with the Iranian government when I say America should not be involved in Iran.
I agree that America should not be involved in Iran. But
so do you understand that you can actually have a stance on a particular subject without like sympathizing or wholesale completely agreeing with everything that Iran does?
When you're morally comparing Iran to the U.S., you have some fucked up things in your head. Like Jesus, like it's not that like
I'm not. I'm saying that what the United States has done in as far as like destabilizing that region and as far as causing damage to the entire world is worse than what Iran has done. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not even equivocating. I'm saying what America's done is worse. And as a matter of fact, most people who are educated on this matter would probably agree with me. Now, that doesn't mean that what Iran is doing is good. What Iran has done to its own citizens is, of course, bad. It's something that I think is morally repugnant. Of course, killing your own protesters is disgusting. I don't even like internet censorship. Why would I ever stand by and condone murdering your own protesters? I do not.
I don't know.
Having said that, okay, but you can understand that the USSR's involvement in World War II was good without saying like, oh, the whole, everything else that the USSR did was good. You can have two separate thoughts in your mind at the same time.
Yes, but what can you possibly
so then you can understand that like our involvement with Iran and escalating that conflict with a nation that has 80 million people in it is not going to be good and cause devastation in the region, destabilize the entire region even further, radicalize millions of people against the United States, cause additional terror cells that will cause chaos, maybe even in mainland United States and certainly in Europe and different parts. Millions and millions of people that are going to no longer have homes, cause a second wave of an immigration crisis in the world as well, as a consequence of America literally no longer saber rattling, but directly fighting with Iran. Let alone, I mean, this is before we even consider the trillions of dollars that America is going to have to spend on this war and the thousands of Americans who are going to die. Probably like 20,000 in the first couple of days if they try to invade Iran.
Yes, and do you understand that literally nothing you have said is anything that we disagree on? Just the only thing that you've been doing is avoiding my question and asking you why you think that it like, why is there a difference? Like, I get, like, you talk about the USSR and sympathizing, like, no, but, like, you have literally justified, like, what has Iran done that is good? Like, what have they done? Like, you can't.
First of all, they don't even need to do anything that's good. They don't need to do anything that's good or bad. It's like they're just surviving. Okay, just leave them alone. Just like you said you want to be isolationist. Be isolationist.
No,
actually,
no, not necessarily isolationist. I think the U.S. should step in where it's needed. I don't think it's been needed in these parts.
Wait, so the United States executing Iran's like foreign policy head was a necessary intervention?
Yes, because he was a fucking terrorist.
So
like, how hard is that? Like, admit, like you even admitted he was a terrorist.
Yeah, but no. But this designation is really important. So you think he's a terrorist, right? Sure.
No, I don't think he was.
Okay, no. You're saying that he's a terrorist, which is fine. I don't have a disagreement with you on there. Okay. Only if you admit that U.S. heads of state are also terrorists. This includes Obama. This includes Donald Trump. This includes every general that has taken a civilian life in the Middle East.
Yes, I mean.
So all heads of state are terrorists in America as well.
Yes. In some instances,
okay,
yes.
No. We agree. Perfect. Okay.
Saying that, like, I don't understand. Like, you keep on trying to equate Iran to the U.S. or like on a moral level, and not like killing. Like,
no, you're mistaking. You're mistaking me.
What?
I'm saying that they're both terrorists, but the United States is more successful at doing terrorism, and therefore probably worse at. More damaging, more devastating force of terror in the world than Iran is.
So you think that killing other terrorists is terrorism? That's basically what you're saying.
No, I don't see no. Hold on. Why did you admit that the United States is United States heads of state are terrorists earlier, just a second ago?
I didn't say they all were. I said in some instances they were, and because
okay,
of the,
so but why? Walk me through your reasoning.
Can I finish the sentence? Because like I said before, we shouldn't be there, and we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing. So yes, when we make actions where civilians are killed and other things, then like yes, we are considered terrorists. Like we should not be there. We should not be doing that.
Okay.
Right?
Good. So they are committing war crimes. They're killing civilians. We shouldn't be there. They're also terrorists. Agreed.
Yes.
I think.
So how do you put that on the equivalent level of Iranian terrorists? Like we're there trying to solve a problem.
I'm not. I'm not putting it at the same level. I'm saying the U.S. is worse.
But you are.
No, I'm not. I'm saying the United States is worse. I'm saying Iran is less effective at doing terrorism around the world than the United States is. The United States is #1 at doing terrorism. If you understand that causing casualties by the millions is an act of terror, if for political gain or for natural resource extraction, doesn't matter. If you understand that that is terror, is just state-sanctioned terror, then you understand that the United States is pound for pound the best, dude, the absolute best at doing terror around the world. That's my point. So I'm saying like they're better at doing terror than Iran is. So I'm not even making a moral equivocation. I'm saying that like Iran is not as bad.
But you are, because like you've constantly justified the fact that like we shouldn't have killed anybody, any of Iran's leaders. We shouldn't have done any of that stuff. And I agree with you. If we weren't there in the first place, then yeah, we should just leave it alone. But guess what? We're there, and that's the reality. And you always want to talk about and say, this is the world we live in. Like you talked about your dad working for a financial firm, and you're like, oh, well, that's just the way it is. People got to make money. Well, like
I know, but if my dad was a serial murderer, I wouldn't say it is the way it is. I'd be like, Dad, my dad's a serial murderer, and I'm terribly embarrassed by that fact. And
the point is that I'm saying is that like we don't have a choice whether or not we're there. Me and you, we're not the ones.
Yes, we do. We do have a choice. We absolutely do have a choice. We lied to go into war there.
Yeah, you can talk about the whole week. We can vote. We can do blah, blah, blah. But
no. I'm saying, when I say we, I mean the United States of America did not have to be in the Middle East, but they chose to be in the Middle East. As a matter of fact, they didn't just choose. They lied to justify going into the Middle East, okay? They lied to justify going into Iraq specifically. This is the main point of contention. This is the heart of this disagreement here, which is that the U.S. should have never been there in the first place, which you and I agree with, which is precisely why I'm saying that like Iran does do terror, especially when it comes to its dealings in Syria, especially when it comes to like the Iranian leadership killing its own protesters. That's terrible. Okay. I don't like that at all. I think that's authoritarian. That's disgusting. But what the United States has done, or at least like what Iran has done as far as pushing back against the United States in the Middle East, that could absolutely be put under the self-defense category. If someone comes into your house and kills your neighbor and then they point their gun at you, of course you're going to push back. That is just a reasonable, understandable position to take, and I think you understand that as well. So having said this,
I think we agree on more than we disagree.
So now we both agree on that. We also agree that the United States could be designated as like a terror organization as well, in the similar way that Iran can, considering that we've done worse things than Iran has.
I will not say that it's similar at all, but I would say that some acts are terroristic. But to compare us to Iran, that's what I'm talking about. By you putting.
No, I'm not comparing us to Iran. I'm saying we're worse than Iran. We're pound for pound. We're worse than Iran. We've done more devastation.
So you're putting Iran morally above the United States, which is just complete bullshit.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think it's. Oh, I don't think it's BS at all. Wait, why do you think it's BS?
What? Why are we in Iran in the first place?
We're not in Iran. We're in Iraq.
Okay. Well, why are we there in the first place? Like, we were there to solve a problem. Maybe it was a self-motivated problem, but it was a problem. And obviously,
but we created the problem.
Well, like, you've acknowledged that there's real like issues with like Iran like doing things to their citizens.
Yeah,
right?
but that's not why we were there, and that's never why we were there, and that's not a reason. You can't just like say that. You can't just be like, I changed my mind. We actually are killing the Iranian head of state because Iran has been really bad to its own protesters.
No, like I said, I'm not saying it's not self-motivated or that we shouldn't. But like the thing is that like we are there. And I don't understand how you justify like the equivalency. Like I don't like. Yes, you can say the U.S. is worse, but like
there's no equivalency. The U.S. is worse. But hold on. All right, let me just ask you another question. Let me just ask you another question because this is getting uninteresting. This is going to uninteresting territory. Let me ask you an interesting question.
We can end it in a second. It's fine.
Like okay, so my question is this. Okay, let's say Mike Pence and Mike Pompeo are visiting Mexico, okay?
That's not equivalent, dude. That's the thing.
How is that not equivalent? Because what? Because one side is your side? Because one side is like your team? Like you can't remove yourself from this and try to see like...
Is the U.S. like the U.S. isn't doing the things... This is like we're not killing our own people.
No, we're doing worse. Yeah, we're not killing our own people. We're killing other people. We're killing other people thousands of miles away. Like that's even worse. Like we're not even dealing with our crowd control or killing people, which is still disgusting. We're literally going to another country that's even more disgusting. We're going to another country and killing people there.
Yeah.
Do you not comprehend that that's bad? Like 500,000 dead?
I've literally have said multiple times that we shouldn't be there.
Okay, but that's worse. Like 1,000 protesters is really bad. And again, I cannot say that I need to repeat this over and over again. The fact that the Iranian regime has killed their own protesters is disgusting. Okay, absolutely disgusting, morally repugnant behavior. The fact that the United States has killed more than 500,000 people in the past 20, 30 years in our involvement in the Middle East is way worse than that. A life is still a life. Now, having said that, that's again, this is not even a point of contention that we have. We agree on this. What I want to know is why is it totally acceptable and fine when America executes one of Iran's like leading heads of state, but it's unacceptable if Iran did the exact same thing to America?
Because we're not morally equivalent. It's not the same. Like you attacking and killing a terrorist is not the same as killing someone that you don't like. Like, and that's why.
Wait, what? But America is terrorist from an Iranian point of view. How do you not see this? Or, yes, from an Iraqi point of view, from an Afghani point of view, America is a terrorist. You're just simply telling me that like I'm on this side, so I don't see it as a terrorist, and I see all my enemies as terrorists.
No, it's just why, like, I've made the point. It's just like, why would we, like, first of all, we shouldn't be there, but why would we be there and do these things if there wasn't a reason? Like,
money?
Yeah, I've said that, but I'm saying.
Okay,
like,
so it's okay if they do it for money, but it's not okay if someone does it in self-defense? Like, I don't get it. Which one is a more honorable position, to do it for self-defense or to do it to just get oil and minerals and be involved in just natural resource extraction for many different American corporations that are going to make money? Which one's more honorable?
No, self-defense for sure.
Okay, so you sympathize with the Iranian position and with the Iraqi position then?
Okay, but that's literally like saying like Nazi Germany retaliating.
No, Nazi Germany didn't just retaliate. They literally went into different countries and invaded them. And that's how that war started. Are you unfamiliar with the history?
And Iran provoked attacks.
Nazi Germany was the aggressor. Iran was not. Iraq was not.
All right, man. Well, I mean, there's been multiple instances within the past year where Iran has either shot down a drone, attacked bases. In 2016,
okay, if you're angry at a drone being shot down, imagine how angry if a head of state would be. Imagine how angry you could get if Mike Pence was droned. Okay, if a $30,000 lifeless drone getting shot down is an escalation of war, in your opinion, so much so that you're bringing this up as an example, then you should understand that killing a head of state is pretty much the worst no you could do.
Yes, but you're putting Iran head of state on the same level.
$30 million, sorry, not 30K.
Right, like you're putting the Iran head of state as the same as the U.S. head of state, and that's not the case.
Of course I am, because Iran is a
and I think that is, we've agreed on almost everything. That is a disagreement I have. Killing an Iran head of state is not the same as a U.S. head of state.
Why?
Because we're not killing protesters. We're like, the government's not.
But we haven't killed protesters, but we've definitely killed a lot more civilians than Iran has.
I mean, yeah. And more.
So we're worse than Iran. So you understand where I'm coming from then. So it's justifiable.
I understand where you're coming from. I just think it's wrong to say that, like, yes, like if you attack, like if Iran attacks someone and then we do a bomb and some of their people die, like, yeah, that's sad. Like, no civilian should ever die, ever. That's awful. Like, I hate it. It pisses me. Like, I wish there was no war. But my point is the fact is that, like, if you provoke us and we retaliate and then you lose some people, how is that not Iran's fault? Why is that our fault? Like, you don't get into a fight with someone and then expect like their friends not to jump in, right? Like it's
okay, but who started the fight?
I mean, what do you mean by who's? I mean, I guess like you could say we did by going there, but
okay, so you understand that we started the fight, which was the reason for the analogy where I came into your neighborhood and killed your neighbor first, and then pointed my gun at you. I am responsible. I am the responsible party. You shooting me in self-defense is understandable.
Love the spirit of justice. You love your
Thank you, Drone Lives Matter.
Well, okay, I think we. I mean, I've gotten kind of what I wanted from that thing. I guess my last kind of. I mean, we agree on a lot. And I hope you see that. I'm really not like trying to troll or anything like that, and just trying to have a discussion. My next and last thing really is just wondering. You say that Iran has a strong military that could compete with us. Like, how do you even like think that without being some sort of like delusional? Like, I don't.
Okay,
think that.
So I think it's undeniable that the United States has the biggest and strongest military in the world. I don't think anyone would deny that. Of course, the United States is the most powerful military. We spend the most money on the military, pound for pound. It's just the most powerful. We get it. We're totally in agreement there. But the military doesn't work like G.I. Joe toys, where you just like take everything and then like force it into one area. Okay, so all of our might is completely just completely irrelevant when you think about the type of warfare that you're going to be engaging in and who your enemy is and what they're proficient in. When it comes to, and Vietnam is a perfect example of this, or Afghanistan is a perfect example of this as well, and even some parts of Iraq. So the United States' military is already spread too thin, but let's say we're mobilizing 3,000 troops into the region. We have the Navy. We're putting cruisers in the region. Like right now, you have all of these U.S. forces mobilizing in the region against a nation state that has a serious military. Unlike Iraq, unlike Afghanistan, a nation state that has a serious military that has literally been training all of the other groups in certain parts of that region and all around the world, really, to fight against disproportionate forces. So these guys are like the pros at fighting against countries like the United States. They are the best at suicide bombs. They are the best at like human wave attacks. Like, this is what they do. So fighting a military force like that, especially when it's to defend their own nation, to defend their own land, that is going to be devastating for the United States. If you think Iraq is bad, if you thought Iraq was bad, and I think you probably do, very costly, so many Americans died, so many Iraqis died, entire region was destabilized. If you think that was bad, Iran is going to be 10 times worse than that, because they are a much more powerful opponent than Iraq ever could be, or Afghanistan ever could be. So my point here is this is going to destroy the American empire, especially if China, and this is very likely to happen, especially if China and Russia get involved, and also Turkey as well, depending on what they decide to do. I mean, we didn't even win in Iraq. Like, you know what I mean? We haven't won anything in like the past 60 years.
No, I mean, I agree that like it definitely would be bad, and that's kind of like the original points that like we shouldn't even be there, and I guess that's like not really what I was arguing or disagreeing with. It wasn't the fact of like what you're saying. It's more of the fact of how you're presenting it and trying to act like it's moral equivalent, or that their military is just as good, when like it's not. Like, if we wanted to, we could end them in a day. Like, we're just more humane than that. Like, we could blow up the entire country, right? Like, that. Like, and they could probably do not the whole country to us, but they have nuclear weapons. Like, they've obviously, the Iran nuclear deal was a failure. I'm sure you agree with that. Like,
I think the denuclearization agreement was unjust. Listen, you don't want to hear my takes on whether or not Iran has a right to have nukes, okay? I part ways with the rest of the left. I part ways with the rest of the left at this point, where I genuinely think that like being a nuclear power in the world is basically the only way to ensure that you're a part of that mutually assured self-destruction pact, and you won't get invade willy-nilly.
Well, I mean, but like some countries you can't trust, like Iran. Like, I would not trust them.
Wait a minute. Why? If there's one country you shouldn't trust with nukes, it's the United States of America, dude. We've actually used nuclear power on another country before. We're the only country that has used it. And then not only have we used it, we have a psychopath as our president.
Well, I mean, that's an opinion you have. I mean, I voted for Bernie, but like I still, am okay with Trump. He's not as bad as Hillary would have been, but that's not the point.
How can you say that? Donald Trump literally just said today that he's going to attack 52
no, that's not what he said. He said there's 52 targets. That
52 targets. He's threatening to attack. He's threatening to attack cultural targets. That is literally terrorism. Threatening to do that. Just reverse the roles. Squad W. Tyler, Squad W, reverse the roles for a second. If Iran said that.
Iran came out before that and said they have 35 targets in mind. And Trump, being the troll that he was, said, "Oh, well, 35? Guess what? I could do even more
targets."
Also, he's just
trolling. Okay.
No, I'm not saying he was trolling. I'm saying Iran came out and said we have 35
Iran was trolling too.
We have 35 U.S. targets in sight, blah, blah, blah. Trump, being the troll that he is, says, 35 targets? Well, guess what? I'm going to have 52 targets. It's going to be the biggest target number ever seen. It's going to be huge. Like, how he is. Okay,
so Iran was just trolling, just like Donald Trump was trolling. So this is just all one big troll, I guess. Except America did kill Iran's second in command.
That, dude. Like, I don't understand this. I get it's your stream and you're trying to get clout and be cool, but you're not even listening to what I'm saying. What I'm saying, Iran came out first that they have 35 targets. We came out later.
Debating. Just for the record, I hate debating. This is nothing to do with clout. I had the same amount of viewers before you came in. I'm probably gonna have the same amount of viewers after you leave. And I hate debating for this particular reason. Just want to put that out there. I'm not really trying to debate that.
I was just trying to kind of pick your brain and understand your position more. But you came in, you and Raj came into this as a debate. And
because I'm looking at your logs right now, and your log literally says, Hasan, why are you an ISIS/terrorist sympathizer and try to compare those entities to the U.S.? It's not similar, and the intellectual dishonesty you're spewing to these obviously impressionable people watching is such a bad look.
Yeah, is that not what I've been saying the entire time? You have been trying to compare equivalently a terrorist with the United States. You are literally being
I said the United States is better at doing terrorism and therefore worse than all of these other entities.
And that's fine. You can have that opinion. I don't care. But you're saying that the Iranian leader that we killed, he's not a terrorist, and you're sympathizing with the Iranian
No, I said regime. He's a terrorist only on the condition that you understand and acknowledge that Donald Trump and Barack Obama and all of these other American leaders and everyone else is also terrorists.
I've said that they've been terroristic in certain instances.
I think this is a wishy-washy way to try to get out of that distinction, brother.
No, it's literally just I'm open and honest. I agree with you on certain things.
But it's kind of like saying, don't you think that it's kind of like saying, well, first of all, the leader of the Quds forces is not involved in domestic policy. He's a foreign policy guy, so he's not even involved in killing Iranian civilians, right? He's the second in command, but he's number one when it comes to foreign policy. That's his shtick. He's also helped the United States execute strikes against the Taliban. He's helped the United States in defeating ISIS. He has probably had single-handedly more to do with the destruction of ISIS in that region than any other group that you could ever point the finger to. So the guy that you're calling a terrorist killed a lot of terrorists, okay? So let's just say that. So there's the good and the bad, but he's also killed a lot of Syrian people. And
because a terrorist kills a terrorist, he can't be considered a terrorist.
Well, because you just because you originally said that America's a terrorist sometimes. I'm just saying that Iran has the capability of being a terrorist sometimes as well.
Yeah, but the cognitive dissonance is amazing. You're trying to say because he killed terrorists, we can't call him a terrorist or say that it was bad that he died.
No. I'm saying he's a terrorist. I'm saying he's a terrorist, but it's still bad that he died. It's still bad that he got assassinated. Okay. But if you want to consider him a terrorist, then you have to also consider American leadership to be a terrorist. And if you think that it's good that he died, then you also have to have the same opinion when it comes to Mike Pence being executed or Mike Pompeo being executed in a similar fashion.
And then we keep going in circles, but that's my whole point. Is that they're not equivalent. Trying to compare the U.S. to Iran is not that's not the same. We're not doing suicide bombings. We're not doing that shit. No matter how you put it.
We're doing worse. We're killing. We're just more effective at killing more people. That doesn't mean that we're not doing terrorism.
Okay. That's your opinion. That's fine. My whole point is you can't say that.
That's kind of your opinion too. I think you agreed to it earlier. No.
No, I mean, I agree that in some instances, like, yeah, we were terroristic because the fact that we shouldn't have been there. But what we're doing is not comparable to Iran. Like, it's not. Like, we're not that inhumane of society.
Yeah, it's not comparable because what we're doing is worse than what Iran has done, for sure.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate this.
Okay, what's worse, 1,000 people dead or 1 million people dead?
I mean, 1 million people, obviously.
Okay, so then you understand that what America has done is worse. There you go. That's fine.
No, that's not the case. Like, that doesn't mean anything. If you attack me and I attack you and you hurt and you put your people in harm's way because of your dumbass like not thinking, then that's like your fault.
But who instigated first?
We've already been over this. Like,
America did. So you understand that.
Yeah,
so it's literally all America's fault.
You don't
like, we keep going in circles. Like, why are we there in the first place? Like, it's just like,
yeah, because we wanted to go in and fuck shit up. That's the best and easiest way to describe it.
Exactly. Like, you have no explanation. So, like, I appreciate.
No, I have an explanation. I mean, there's the country is ripe with natural resources like oil fields. Destabilizing that entire region was also going to help sell weapons for many years. Rebuilding that infrastructure was also going to be helpful for companies like Halliburton, who were not only involved in the extraction, but also involved in rebuilding the nation, like literally directly connected back to Dick Cheney. Like, no, there was many different material reasons why we went to Iraq. And I think you already understand that. You already agree with me on that. So it's infinitely worse that we did that than Iran engaged in self-defense. If you're comparing it to America, for sure. Having said that, what Iran did is still pretty bad. What Iran has done to its own citizens is pretty bad, but it's nowhere near as bad as American involvement. And I think everyone in the Middle East would agree with this, unless they're bootlicking sycophants of the American government and like literally getting paid to be in a position of power in these countries.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we agree more than we disagree. I think where we disagree the most is the fact that you are putting, like a terroristic regime on the moral equivalent with the U.S. I know your argument is that the U.S. is a terrorist regime. So
I'm saying the U.S. is worse. I'm not saying they're morally equivalent. I'm saying the U.S. is worse than Iran.
Exactly. And I think, and that's mainly where we disagree. Is like most of your arguments are based off of the fact
But you agree with me.
But
you agree with me that the United States is worse than Iran. Like, that's why.
I did not agree with you that we are worse than Iran. I agreed that we did things that we shouldn't have, and I agreed that we shouldn't have been there. But no, we are not worse in any way. Like,
so,
not
but
even
how can you absolve yourself of like the responsibilities?
Can you be gay in America? Can you be gay in Iran? Like, no. Like, just like,
first of all, what does homosexuality have to do with this? Like, when we're talking about killing everyone. Okay, what about how many thousands of gay people did the United States kill in Iraq? How many thousands of gay people are there homosexuals in Iraq? Of course. How many thousands of of homosexuals is the United States responsible for executing? Like, personally.
Are you kidding me? Are you saying that in civilian casualties who happen to be gay is the equivalent of targeting people who are actually gay?
Yes.
Am I wrong?
I'm saying that pound for pound, it's actually worse.
Yeah, so you're saying that if you randomly kill
death is death. If you're getting killed for being gay in one country, it's terrible. If you're getting killed for literally just existing in that country and you happen to be gay, it doesn't matter. You're still dead. You're gay and you're dead in both instances.
Can you guys hear this? So you're literally saying that by just civilian casualties, which happen in war all the time, not to saying they're okay, but they happen. Like suck it up. Like, that's the way it goes. Like, civilians die. You're saying that targeting gay people is less than just someone dying and happening to be gay?
Pound for pound, the amount of gay people that Iran has executed is nowhere near the amount of gay people that the United States most likely killed.
That is probably the stupidest statement I've ever heard you say out of all your Young Chuck videos, everything. Like, you're saying that, specifically targeting, throwing people off of fucking roofs, shooting them, that's worse than a civilian casualty? Like, come on.
I'm sorry. In one instance, there's 10 people that are gay and dead. In the other instance, there's 1,000 people that are gay and dead. Which one is worse? Can you describe to me why? Do you not understand, mathematically, which one killed more homosexuals?
I can't describe to you why, because they're being targeted literally for who they are, and they don't have a choice. When they die from a war casualty, there's no discrimination. They die because
so Americans didn't know. Being gay.
So you're like the Jews, because the Jews were targeted in the Holocaust. that's not as bad as any other, like, what was it, fucking like Genghis Khan, who killed millions of people. That's maybe some of them
what?
Jews.
Dude,
like,
you're reaching really hard with your analogies
no,
here.
I'm not
But
reaching at all.
a better analogy in this circumstance would be like, if what's worse, like Nazis, neo-Nazis in America doing a synagogue shooting where 13 Jews get killed, or like you go into a predominantly Jewish neighborhood and you drone strike a predominantly Jewish neighborhood and you kill 100 Jews, but they're just casualties. We didn't know that there was 100 Jews in that region. Which one's worse? Like the hate crime or the 100 Jews that died?
But what you're saying is, if you go into a town where there's like 10 gay people, and then you blow it up and you kill 1,000 people total, that's worse than killing 10 people solely because they're gay. You do
realize you're literally regarding dead homosexuals in Iraq as just simple casualties, like mere collateral damage, which is infinitely more disrespectful and kind of self-defeating. No, if you're trying to act like you care about gay people, maybe don't just say, "Oh, that's just collateral damage, man." Like, there's more gay people dead in the hands of the American military than Iran. There you go. That's the end of the story. Pound for pound, still worse.
If you drop a bomb, like in when we dropped the bombs on Japan, you don't think that there were gay people that we killed, but they weren't targeted because they were gay. They were targeted because they were in the enemy country.
Okay.
I think that targeting someone because of their race, sexuality, whatever label you want to put on somebody, targeting them for that specific reason, yes, that's way worse than just war casualties.
So if someone, wait, hold on. This does not make any sense whatsoever.
From a moral
when
standpoint,
you kill people, exactly. From a moral standpoint, what's worse, more casualties or the intention of wanting to kill, like a specific group of people? Like, the number of casualties is still worse. The number of casualties, especially when the same group is targeted at a higher percentage in one instance, it's just such a dumb conversation to even have. In one instance, there's 1,000 gay people dead. In one instance, there's 10 people dead. 10 gay people dead. Doesn't matter if your intent was to just kill gay people or not. You're still killing more gay people in the other one. So morally, you're still in the wrong.
But you don't think that like if the KKK were to just go out and kill everybody, that would be not as bad as if they were only killing black people. Like, that's what you're saying. Like, you're saying that like one
black person being lynched, like the Emmett Till lynching, truly horrific or catastrophic. Is that worse than like bombing an African nation and killing like 100 African people?
Yes, but and that's my point, is that like that's not the case. There's not a village of gay people in Iran because they're not allowed to exist. Like, and that's the point, is that like when they're being killed, that's
literally what you're saying. You're saying that, like, because one was deliberately and specifically targeted as an African American or as a black person, that is way worse than killing 100 black people in another country. That's literally what you're saying. I don't think you understand that.
Because you keep on sparsing it to say like, oh, targeting 10 people because they're black.
Unless you legitimately don't think that there's like gay people in Iraq that died.
No, there are, and that's my point. Is that like the targeting people for a certain race, sex, whatever.
And this is this is before we get into like how the United States deals with this issue by killing more people. Like that's because that's what that's going to end up happening. So that's also another really dumb take. But we didn't even get there because we can't even agree on like 1,000 gay people dying is worse than 100 gay people dying.
Yes, if the 1,000 gay people were targeted, but if 1,000 gay people happen to die in a collateral attack, like that's not as bad, in my opinion, as someone specifically going out hunting gay people.
Hold on. I'm asking you one more time, okay? I'm a racist, sexist, homophobic guy, okay? Are you ready? I'm a racist, sexist, homophobic guy, and I'm a white supremacist. I go in and specifically kill a black gay person. I'm gonna kill a gay person. I kill him. Okay, that's one kill. Now, in this second scenario, the other person is just a mass shooter, and he just goes into a school and just shoots a bunch of people. Okay, and they happen to kill 12 gay and black people. Which one's worse?
I mean, the mass shooting's worse, but the motive behind it is what we were talking about, and that's why I don't like. That's where like the disconnect is that like a collateral or like even in a mass shooting, if you kill 10 people and 7 of them happen to be gay, I don't necessarily see that motive as like as corruptly bad as targeting specific people for being gay. Like I don't understand. Like that's literally why we have hate crimes. There's a difference. Like in the U.S., we have hate crimes from morally or from racially or sexuality, right? Motivated crimes.
I think this guy knows we bomb weddings and funerals. No, I think he does. Do you know that we do that, by the way? I don't know if you know that. We do that.
No, I'm just asking. Like I don't understand. Like, yes, I get
like, which
that.
Ones were like? Are you a liberal? Is that why you voted for Bernie Sanders? Are you a lib? Like, do you think that like I don't know, like homophobia is worse than just like execution of a bunch more gay people? Like, I'm confused.
No, like you're missing my entire point. Yes, obviously more deaths is worth is worse than one death. But I'm saying the motive behind it, if you're targeting only black people or only Jews or only Muslims, like that motive is morally and like way worse than just dropping a bomb and this many people happen to die and they tend to be or they happen to be of this race or this sexuality.
So we're killing gay people on accident, and we're better at killing gay people on accident when Iran is deliberately trying to kill gay people and they can't even come near us. Okay, we're lapping Iran on the wholesale execution of homosexuals just because our motive isn't to kill homosexuals. Doesn't matter. A great example of this is literally in the drone strikes that occurred yesterday. We killed Christian Iraqis, for example. Like, we killed a bunch of Iraqi civilians, and some of them were Christian. So what's up? Like, Donald Trump claims that he cares about Christianity. He can't even fucking get that right.
And that's literally like you're arguing something that I'm not even. The issue, like that's pretty much been the theme of this conversation, is that you keep on bringing up things that I'm not even talking about, or like not even my point. Like, yes, more deaths is always worse than less deaths, but the motive behind it, when you're specifically targeting gay people or black people, yeah, that's worse than just dropping a bomb and like.
Also, it's not even an accident. We know, like, that's the other thing. Like, we know that there's gay Iraqis, dude. This is some like crazy, weird, like identity politics thing that I can't even wrap my head around at this point. Like, we know that there are, when you kill people and you kill people in those numbers, you know that you're going to kill a bunch of different ethnic groups. You're going to kill a bunch of different identities, and Americans don't care.
Yes, but when did I ever say an accident? We don't accidentally drop bombs. That's stupid. We drop bombs on purpose. But it's not like we go to places and say, oh, you know what? There's 100 gay people in this 1,000, person town. Let's go drop a bomb. Oh, yeah, we killed 100 gays. No. But when you go in and you're purposely like, oh, this guy's a homosexual, let's throw him off a building. And you do that hundreds of times a year. Yeah, that's kind of worse.
Okay, so 100 homosexuals died on one hand and then 1,000 died on the other.
This is what I mean by you're a terrorist sympathizer. Like, they are an authoritarian, like oppressive regime who kills people based off, their
maybe
sexuality.
Maybe it's because I have a better understanding as a progressive. Maybe it's because I have a better understanding of what goes on in these sorts of nations, considering that I am from a predominantly Muslim nation where I'm more progressive than 99.9% of the population there. And I understand that Turkey and Iran and Iraq are not a monolith, and there are progressive people, especially in the youth, that fight against their governments every single day. There are gay people, trans people in these countries that are fighting against their governments every single day. But when the United States comes down and rains hellfire upon these nations, it makes it infinitely more difficult to fight our own government, because we're now fucking busy fighting back against a very clear evil enemy, and that is the U.S. empire. And that's precisely why I get angry, and that's precisely why I'm very passionate about American imperialism. Okay? Because Americans do not have the capacity to understand that gay person who's dying is not just gay. That person that's dying is also gay and Muslim. That gay person that's being thrown off of a building, he has fucking friends who are fighting against that government. But then we can't fight against that government because now there's a bigger, more evil power killing everyone. And until you get that through your skull, and until Americans understand that Muslims are not a fucking monolith, we're never going to fix any of these issues.
When did I ever, I never mentioned Muslims or any of that. Like, that's
no,
what I'm
you
talking
don't
to,
understand.
Like,
those Iranians hate America. The gay ones hate America more than they hate their own government because they know that the government will kill them, but America does not even give a shit about them. The government is at least like trying to kill them, but like they're going to protect their families, okay? The government's going to kill them, but their family's going to be safe. When America comes in and fucking bombs indiscriminately a bunch of weddings and a bunch of funerals, they don't give a shit. They're killing everyone. They're bombing and destroying the infrastructure.
That's probably the dumbest take you've ever. You just said that gay people don't mind getting killed if they know their families are going to be safe. What
no, I'm saying that when
really
America is a galvanizing power. How do you not comprehend this? America is a bigger and infinitely worse evil superpower destroying countries without any sort of comprehension, without any sort of care for the people that live in them, which is precisely why America ends up unifying and radicalizing these people. That's the point. America makes it harder for these nations to progress. America literally makes it more difficult for Iran to have any sort of progress with its consistent destabilizing force in the Middle East. Same with every other country, by the way.
I mean, if that's the way you feel, man.
You don't love the spirit of justice.
I think we've agreed on a lot more than we.
Devil.
I think on a morality aspect, I think you're kind of skewed. But that's about it.
Okay.
Again, big fan. Appreciate the discussion. I've been wanting to go for a while now, so I'll be watching your stream. And even though you got a little worked up and probably don't like me, that's okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just look. I'm used to people who are just like are not who are never going to see my perspective.
Well, and maybe I would. I just don't necessarily. Maybe Twitch chat isn't the best place, but I mean, I doubt we'll ever meet in person. But
no, don't listen. Also, don't listen to the people in the Twitch chat. Like they're always going to be against you regardless.
Oh no, I don't care. I mean, honestly, Twitch chat, like for what I've seen, well, I haven't checked in a while. They're fun, but no, it's all cool, man. I mean, I'm a big fan. Like I said, I watch your stream all the time. Watch Raj's stuff all the time. Even though you're on the Young Turks, I like a lot of your videos on the Young Turks. I think you have a good perspective. I think. Especially last night when you were watching, I forgot. I don't know what.
ContraPoints.
The transsexual woman. I thought you had like her take on counterculture and your.
She's very
opinion.
good.
Yeah, and your opinion also. I thought I was kind of surprised because I thought you would be kind of SJW kind of. But.
No, there are a lot of people on the left who criticize when cancel culture goes too far or when the left goes too far.
You don't love the spirit of justice.
No, but anyways, man, I'll let you get back to your stream. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just had like really just a few questions, and I really wasn't trying to debate or I mean, I guess we did a little bit, but it wasn't really my intention. But I enjoyed you having me on, and I mean, honestly, just even talking to you is really kind of cool. So.
No problem, man. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. Have a good one. Tell Jake I said hi.
All right, I will.